Hi dear friends, welcome to my channel. It's Akshadari by Devraj. Let me start our today's session with read by reading the newspaper. I hope you guys are doing great and enjoying the occasion. So before going to start this session, so I'm requesting you everyone to please subscribe, like and comment to my channel. And if you guys have any comments, you can leave the comment in the comment box that I can help you out for your queries. Let me open the newspaper, today newspaper. So e-paper that is, and it will go to the e-newspaper. Let me open the Bangalore edition, which is yes, it is a new assault on India's liberty. SC refers Sai Baba case to ITSI for fresh look. And a mission to save bats bust my myths. India-China talks will continue, says Rajnath. India's population to hedge ahead of China's by mid 2023, says UN. India's population projected to reach 142.86 crore against China on 42.57 crore. Contrary to alarm bells, population trends point to slower growth and aging society, says report. Family planning targets can lead to gender-based discrimination, it says. Have informed states of same-sex marriage hearing. Government tells SC individuals have no control over their orientation. Bhavani Revanna extends support to Swaroop. Let me read this information news related to population. It's very important. India is set to overtake China to become the world most popular country by the middle of 2023, according to data released by the United Nations. India's population is pegged to reach 142.86 crore against China's 142.57 crore. This shows India will have 29 lakh more people than its Asian neighbor. The United States is a distant third with an estimated population of 34 crore. The data by the State of World Population Report 2023 of the UN Population Fund showed the world population hit the 800 crore mark in November 2022. The report says that contrary to the alarm bells about exploding numbers, population trends everywhere point to slower growth and aging societies. Just eight countries will account for half the projected growth in global population by 2050. The Democratic Republic of Congo, Egypt, Ethiopia, India, Nigeria, Pakistan, the Philippines, and the United Republic of Tanzania. While two-thirds of people now live in a country where lifetime fertility corresponds with zero growth. At a time when there have been increasing calls for imposing a two-child norm in India by various political leaders, and some states such as Assam have issued an order in 2021 to bar those with more than two children from government jobs. The UN agency said its funding for India too had suggested that population anxieties have seeped into large portions of the general public. It called for a radical rethink on how countries address changing demographies and cautioned against use of family planning as a tool for achieving fertility targets. Global experience showed that family planning targets can lead to gender-based discrimination and harmful practices such as pre- prenatal sex determination leading to sex selective abortion. It says. Let me read the continued page on 8th page. IT officials search premises of KGF Babu. BJP released ticket to Aishwarya Pass son. Center asks states to impose new rules to check stray dog numbers. SC Collegium recalls Odisha SCCG's transfer proposal. Polls are back, but no end to white hopping mess. According to the Karnataka government, white tapping is a solution to ensure longevity of the city's road, but experts and citizens seems to disagree. Development work in progress. Basavanagudi Main Road in Bangalore. HC questions rule empowering revenue authorities to permit delayed registration of births and deaths. Asha's wait a ray of hope for better play and safety measures. Hybrid solar eclipse on April 2020 to last over 5 hours. High Court launches web page for judgments translated into Kannada. Police hacks swiftly rescue baby stolen from Vani Vilas Hospital. So here you can see the rescue baby that is stolen from Vani Vilas Hospital. The baby from police rescued an 8-day-old baby from with baby boy within 72 hours of being kidnapped from Vani Vilas Hospital on Saturday. According to the police, the accused Divya Rashmi, 29, had an abortion and desperately wanted a baby. She decided to steal a baby from a hospital and went around Victoria's Hospital, Kim's KC General Hospital, Boarding Hospital, and Rajiv Gandhi Hospital. Before going to Vanivalas Hospital, where the victim Suma HK was sleeping with her newborn, Suma, a resident of Tiptur, was admitted to hospital for delivery on April 7. The doctor had asked Suma to stay for 2 more days as she was anemia and needed treatment. While she and the baby were sleeping, the accused ventured into the hospital and picked up the baby and vanished. Based on the complaint, a team of police analyzed around 600 CCTV footage starting from Vanivalas till Ramanagara before arresting the accused Divya Rashmi and charging her under kidnapping. The police rescued the baby and reunited him with the mother. P. Krishna Kant, DCP South Division, lauded the team for cracking the case in record time. So very good record. So this is the third page. Karnataka polls 2023. Nadda says he is hopeful for 5-year term up for Bombay. Siddaramaiah alleges internal understanding between BJP and JDS in Varna. Bhavani Revana extends support to Swarup in Hassan. Modi to visit state More stands for campaign starting from April 28. Congress names 40 star campaigners. Government failed to protect state from dangers of centralization, says Bahutva Karnataka. Ayanur Manjunath among many party opposed in JDS third list. Party changes candidates in 12 seats. Total seats by IC crossed 200 crore. TN Assembly's resolution urges Center to extend quota for Dalit Christians. Chief Minister Stalin speaks that it is unfair to deny them the benefits of reservation enjoyed by the other members of the same community just because they had converted to Christianity. BJP Dennis tickets to Ishwara Pasan. Batting for bats, Kerala Post Research Institute strives to dispel myths. Vande Bharat's second trial run completed successfully. CBI questions YSRCP leader. Mamata bags Stalin's move and time limit for governors. It's a new assault on India's liberty. Suritha Pravasadi is an advocate practicing in the Madras High Court. Let me read this article page. They are caste imperative, caste census, even if morally flawed, can help in targeting of quota benefits. On April 6, 2023, the Union government introduced a new set of measures with a view to crushing fake news and misinformation on the internet. These introductions came through an amendment made to the Information Technology Intermediary Guidelines and Digital Media Ethics Code, Rules 2021 are IT rules. The amendment grants to the Union Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology unbridled power to create a fact check unit, which will identify false or misleading online content that concerns the central government's business in any manner. So, should social media intermediaries fail to prevent users from hosting or publishing information that have been flagged or false by the fact check unit, they stand to lose their safe harbor immunity. In other words, any protection that online platforms might have enjoyed against criminal prosecution will be withdrawn. The consequence, the upshot of the new regulation is this: the union government gets to decide for itself what information is bogus and gets to exercise wide ranging powers of censorship by compelling intermediaries to take down post demand fake or false. In a democracy where information is free and where the right to freedom of speech is constitutionally guaranteed, the new law must strike us deeply abhorrent. The IT rules derive their authority from the Information Technology Act 2000, a law which, at its inception, was meant to provide legal recognition for electronic commerce. Through Section 79, the Act provides a safe harbor by granting immunity to intermediaries so long as these entities observe due diligence in discharging their duties under the law, and so long as they follow other guidelines prescribed by the state. An intermediary under the law refers to any person who receives, stores, or transmits electronic records. It would include internet service providers, search engines, and social media platforms. For example, WhatsApp or Signal, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram are all what the law constitutes as intermediaries. When the IT rules were introduced in 2021, in a supersession of a previous guidelines, it was already riddled by controversy. Divided into two distinct parts, the rules sought to regulate intermediaries through a mighty and the digital news media, including over the top media services such as Netflix and Amazon Prime through the Union Ministry for Information and Broadcasting. Insofar as intermediaries are concerned, the IT rules imposed a series of onerous obligations, a breach of which could result in a loss of safe harbor. Among other things, the rules require social media platforms, in particular messaging services, to provide technological solutions that would enable them to identify the first originator of any information on their service, where demanded by government under a set of given circumstances, or where mandated by an order of court. Given the implication of this on hand-to-end encryption as a result of on our right to privacy, the IT rules has been subject to several sets of challenges, with petitions now pending consideration in the Supreme Court of India. Restrictions through executive diktats. The amendments introduced this month bring with them a new assault on our liberty. To be sure, misinformation and or fake news, whatever one might want to call it, is rampant on the internet. Its effects are unquestionably deleterious. But what might the solution to this problem be? There is the oft-cited passage from Justice Lewis Brownlee's classic 1927 opinion on the in the United States Supreme Court case with Whitney versus California, where he wrote that if there be time to expose through discussion the falsehoods and policies to avoid the evil by the process of education, the remedy to be applied is more speech, not imposed through silence. But given the structural inequalities in society, we know that a resolution of this kind is not always helpful. That speech by itself can be harmful, and when it demands intervention from the law. Equally, through we must be cognizant that not all problems are capable of easy legislative solutions. Certainly, thoughtless censorship is never an answer. What is worse In the case of the IT rules, restrictions flow not through legislation but through executive dictates. And these commands militate against a substantive constitutional guarantees. Article 19(1)(a) grants to every citizen a right to freedom of speech and expression. That right can only be limited through reasonable restrictions made by law on one or the other of the grounds stipulated in Article 19(2), namely in the interests of the sovereignty and integrity of India, the security of the state, friendly relations with foreign states, public order, decency, or morality are in relation to contempt of court, defamation or incitement to an offense. As is plain to see, fake news and misinformation are not grounds on which speech can be limited. No doubt, if a piece of information is proven to be false and as a diet being on one of the grounds stipulated in Article 19(2), such speech can be limited through law. But the amendments made to the IT rules do not caveat the restraints by the place in any manner. Instead, they confer on the fact check unit a limitless powers to decide what information is false and in the process compel social media intermediaries to act based on these findings. Open-handed and undefined. In its landmark judgment in Shreya Singhal versus Union of India, the Supreme Court, in striking down Section 66A of the IT Act, held that a law that limits speech can either be vague or nor over broad. The amendment to the IT rules suppose on both accounts. First, the notification fails to define fake news. Second, it allows the government's fact check and to it unity to make declarations on the veracity of any news. In respect of any business that involves the state, the use of open-ended and undefined words, especially the use of the phrase any business in a nation such as India, where the state has wide-ranging reach, indicates that the government will have an effective carte blanche to decide what each of us can see, hear, and reach on the internet. Any workable and constitutionally committed campaign against fake news would have looked first towards a comprehensive parliamentary legislation on the matter. And a legislation may emanating out of such a process would have tethered limitations on speech on the grounds stipulated in Article 19(2). It would have further ensured that the government cannot act as an arbiter of its own cause. In France, for example, where legislation exists to counter the spread of information during elections, the declaration is made not by government but by an independent judge. A proper, a lawfully enacted statute would have also demanded a decision on whether a directive to remove misinformation is the only solution to fake news or whether there are others, less restrictive alternatives available. For instance, in many cases, a government faced with what it believes it is in deceptive news always has the power to provide its own version of the facts without calling for an erasure for the half other accounts. The amendments to the IT rules are not only a product of pure executive instruction but also as eschew each one of these considerations. The consequences are chilling. Intermediaries faced with the threat of prosecution will actually evade out of information deemed false by the fact check unit. It will only remain for the state to tell us what the truth is. The rights of the press and indeed of the common person, the question authority to speak truth to power, will be diminished and our civil liberties will be obliterated. India UAE cooperation to show regional food security. Ambassador of United Arab Emirates to India, Abdul Nasir Asla Al Shali, then the United Arab Emirates, whose food security has been built on imports from global markets, is now focusing on the twin objectives of food access and a readiness to confront supply chain crisis. India, the world's second largest food producer, is an essential partner in the UAE ambition to strengthen food security. The India UAE Food Security Partnership stands to benefit from multiple points of convergence. Many capabilities. India has built its status as a global agri export powerhouse using its vast tracts of arable land, a highly favorable climate, and a large and growing food production and processing sector. Along with serving global markets with its diversified agri-produce, India has in recent years acted as a humanitarian provider for food to developing countries, demonstrating awareness of its evolving role in advancing regional and global food security. India has also made major budgetary outlays towards setting up massive food parks, with due emphasis on the modern supply chain management spanning farm gate to retail outlet. These investments, complemented by how India has placed its food sector to benefit from bilateral trade agreements, reflect the country's strong and sustained intent to make the most of its agri capabilities in the global food marketplace. In parallel, India runs the public distribution system, the world's largest food subsidy program, providing nearly 800 million citizens with subsidized grains, providing its people with the reassurance of daily affordable meals. Equally laudable is India's Prime Minister's overarching scheme for holistic nutrition, Abhiyan, the world's largest nutrition program for children and women. As a part of its G20 presidency, India is promoting the consumption and farming of millets, nutritious drought-resistant, sustainable crops that demonstrate the resilience focus that India offers to the global food security dialogue. In the realm of the food security, India's G20's presidency seeks to address the three Gs of COVID, conflict, and climate, to borrow from India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar address last year. Issues pernicious to food security in India and across the globe. What the UAE brings to the table. Seen together, India brings to the table an incredible wealth of food sector experience and the ability to operationalize the world's largest food supply chains. Formidable capabilities that are strengthening the India UAE food security partnership in a variety of ways. During the 12U2 India, Israel, the United Arab Emirates, and the United States summit is in just last year, the UAE committed 2 billion in investment towards constructing food parks in India, in Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat, while the signing of a food security accord are on the comprehensive economic partnership agreement sidelines with logistic partners DP World has taken forward India's envisioned presence on the global food value chain. Behind the UAE, the corridor could potentially commence a route for goods and made and processed in India, beginning their outbound journey on the Indian coast of the Arabian Sea, passing through the UAE and towards major international markets. With its ability to establish high volume trade hubs, the corridor stands to emerge as a world-class template of successful agri-trade for India, while also unlocking greater productivity, efficiency, and growth for its millions of workers and employees. For the UAE, the benefits go behind maintaining and diversifying its food reserves and trade linkages could enable the Emirates to leverage its strategically placed location between Asia and Europe to serve as India's food export gateway to West Asia and the Africa region. And further behind, given the food corridor's incredible commercial potential, several UAE-based companies have expressed interest in constructing a supporting logistics and infrastructure pipeline to accelerate the trade and reinforce the food corridor. The Dubai Multi Commodities Center, the UAE largest free trade zone, launched Agriota, an agri trading and commodity platform to link Indian farmers to food companies in the UAE. Agriota gives millions of Indian farmers the opportunity to directly reach out to the entirely of the entirety of the UAE's food ecosystem. Processing companies, traders, wholesalers, and stock their products in Emirati stores. Alongside this initiative, a consortium of UAE-based entities are investing up to a 7 billion in mega food parks, contract farming, and the sourcing of agro commodities in India. The initiative will include mega food parks, logistics and warehouse hubs, and fruits and vegetable hubs. The benefits: there is much that India stands to gain from the UAE's private sector projects spanning its agricultural and food processing sector. Those projects will generate lakhs of non-farm agri jobs while enabling farmers to discover better prices for their products. Bolstered by the UAE infrastructural capabilities, India's agriculture products will have more resilient and diversified pathways to the global marketplace. India's G20 presidency offers an opportune moment for both India and the UAE to showcase viable strategies and frameworks that can forge the basis of food security in the global south. As it sets the global development agenda, India can look to our leverage and strengthen trade pathways with the UAE to forge a sustainable, inclusive, efficient, and resilient food future of food. Hold friends, while strengthening our ties with Russia, India must make its stand on war clear. Caste imperative. Caste census, even if morally flawed, can help in targeting of quota benefits. Karnataka elections, which why now? The millions of people leaks in Gujarat. Recruitment are mad by the fact that they are mad by the ruling party. World's largest producer of milk hits a dry patch. Milk prices are ruling high if area supply is constrained by lumpy skin disease and high fodder costs for highest candidates. State cannot discriminate against individuals for sexuality. The bans led by CJI Chandrachud says state cannot push aside the need for legal recognition of same-sex marriage within the LGBTQIA community as an urban and elitist concept. Petitioners claim calling them elitist is unfair view of government. It is also an argument in response to the contention that this is all very elitist or urban or biased in favor of a particular class. CBI files case against Oxfam India holds office search. India's population to go past China by 2030. And from states of same-sex marriage case, Indians stuck in Sudan say no poor food supply notice they are staying. SC sets aside Bombay HCR discharging ex-Professor Saibab. Discussing MOU with India for training cooperation on electric propulsion, UK series. Rajnath wants a disengagement de-escalation process over Ladakh stand up to continue. More age-appropriate trainings for films soon. BJP fueling rumors that Ajit Pawar is going to defect NCP. Trinamool tries to distance itself from veteran Mukul Roy. Lingayats backing BJP because of the party's work. Laxman Savadi and Jagdish Shettar left the party because of them. Their personal ambition is more important than what the BJP wants to do. They sacrificed 4 decades of party ideology and jumped to the Congress. Shettar and Congress are like chalk and cheese, the Union Minister says. Doesn't their joining the Congress somewhat ameliorated the narrative of hurt sentiments between the Lingayats community and the Congress? Did Jatin Mehta get protection over Adani links? Asks Congress. Court crashes SJ&K cyber detention under PSC. Union Cabinet gives a note for 603 crore quantum mission. Quantum computers can work several times faster than the speediest machines of today and facilitate a secure communication network. Four thematic hubs will be set up in top academic and national research and development institutes to focus on the generation of new knowledge. State asked to keep strict vigil on COVID-19 cases. UGC places emphasis on education in local language. Flying ban on unruly passengers should be left to airlines. Minority Commission says the Dalai Lama video tampered. FSSAI needs to analyze the short regulate processed food. Air India filed unions threatens state over revised wage norms. Caring for the Supreme. Kim Jong Un says North Korea's first spy satellite is ready for launch. Iran Supreme Leader rules how to referendum on divisive issues. Panda loaned by China to Thailand as part of a diplomacy plan that Macron booed by angry French after signing pensions reform. No respite in Sudan as battles continue after truce breaks. Fox News Hawaii trial to pay 787.5 million in the defamation case. Kremlin critical launches appeal in case related to what war remarks. Kyiv receives Patriot missiles made by US. Beijing hospital fire death toll rises to 29. Conservationists in Sri Lanka slam plan to export monkeys to China. Activists fear that the monkeys allegedly causing crop damage could end up in testing laboratories. Home loan inquiry slow youth seek unsecured credit. Demand for unsecured lending products is rising, driven by the adoption and consumption-led credit products, says credit information company TransUnion Civil. BEML land assets gets listed post spin-off. Mankind Pharma announces up to 4,326 crore offer for sale. NMDC exploring Australian lithium reserves for mining. Government brings back windfall tax on sale. Tata JLR to invest 15 billion to light up electric vehicle foray. Chola Mandalam investment to rise 5 billion via NCDs. Raymond eyes up to 25% export growth. Price cuts fail to price prime Netflix income. Alliance plans 21,600 crore worth projects in the three big cities. Steel PLI scheme to attract 30,000 crore investments in India. Delhi Capitals posed to call up Abhimanyu and George for trials. Ishan Kishan completes 4,000 runs in T20 cricket. Arjun Tendulkar has his father's temperament, says Gavaskar. Serious reported bookie incident during India's New Zealand tour, not IPL. Super Giants with win by 10 runs in a loss to Thriller against Royals. Tilak elated about doing well at home. The ones set to miss another game Livingstone could play. DC hopes to give home fans some cheer, but KKR has the edge. Gill show stakes NEUFC to the semi-final. Rodrigo's breeze helps Real Singh Chelsea cruise into semis. World Chess Championship resumes with Nepo ahead. Federation Cup volleyball in Karaikal from Thursday. Rashpur returns to training, gives United welcome boost. Warner makes WDC final and Ashes squads. March, Harrison runs Shaw back. Atanu Dash claims fourth spot. Satyan stops Sharath to help ONGC retain title. IOC women make it past OIL. Text and context. Road Ministry to construct highways in financial year 24. The films at the first international film festival in India is Delhi. Cost to modernize power supply in Hamirpur. Marshal the number of years it took Nagaland to get its first medical college. Federal workers start one of the largest strikes in Canada. The price of a lie, the Fox News settlements. Why did the US based conservative news channel opt to settle with election technology firm Dominion voting systems? What are the other lawsuits against Fox News? What were the claims brought against the broadcaster by the firm and how did they impact the 2020 US elections? Why is a star planet pair emitting radio signals? What is White City B? How have astronomers detected radio signals from this planet, which is 12 light years away? Why are sensitivity readers looking at whole books through a modern lens? Will it be better to leave the stories and novels for writers like Agatha Christie, Lan Fleming, Arthur Conan Doyle, Arch and Roald Dahl with their regressive views as they are to give the readers a sense of the time in which they were written and published? The first few decades of the 20th century laid the foundation for quantum mechanics. So the today's quiz is about the Nabel physics. So this is the hand of the text and condensed page, the Hindu paper. So I hope this would be very useful for you guys, and please subscribe to my channel and like and comment. So and if you are following the same tips to improve your communication skills just by reading the newspaper, just as I told you, you have to follow some tips which I have revealed in the previous videos. So I hope you would follow the same tips to improve your communication in English. And hope you are doing good and great. And see you in the upcoming videos. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.